As we've been reporting, President Obama revealed today that he will not release any photos showing the deceased body of Osama bin Laden. The president broke the news this afternoon in an interview set to air on Sunday. Let's take a look.
There is no doubt that we killed Osama bin Laden. It is important for us to make sure that very graphic photos of somebody who was shot in the head are not floating around as an incitement to additional violence, as a propaganda tool. That's not who we are.
And more details have emerged about what exactly the photos show. According to a senior U.S. official, they are extremely graphic. A large open gunshot wound to the forehead of bin Laden is visible, and it also shows brain matter. In addition, one of his eyes appears open while the other is, quote, completely gone. Now, many Americans are outraged over the administration's decision to keep the pictures under lock and key. Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin is one of them. Today, she posted the following message to the president on Twitter, quote, "Show photo as warning to others seeking America's destruction. No pussyfooting around, no politicking, no drama. It's part of the mission." And joining me with reaction to all of this is the one and only, soon to be releasing a new book called Demonic.
Yes, and I will be on your show on June 6th. That's
June
about
6th.
The next TV show I'll be doing, practically.
All right, you're going into hiding for a month.
Yes, I am.
All right, first of all, we just showed the photos of other people killed in this raid, and I
liked that.
So did I. Why? What do you think of the president's rationale? This will incite people.
For one thing, I notice all the people who say we don't need to see the photo have themselves seen the photo. This was not a personal crime against the Barack Obama family. This was an attack on the United States of America. And for 10 years, Americans, at least 200 million Americans, liberals were burning candles and singing folk songs, but 200 million Americans have been waiting to personally put the bullet in Osama bin Laden's head. We paid for it. We ought to be able to see it. Secondly, and perhaps more important, this president prides himself on his indigenous quality in saying Pakistan, but he seems to know less about Arabs than, my dog. Certainly this Irishman from Long Island knows more. First of all, I don't care particularly that they're going to have conspiracy theories. Who cares what they think? And still, their leaders are constantly lying to them. Conspiracy theories are rife in the Arab world. They will believe this is a fake otherwise. Secondly, as we know from the way Arabs treat their own people and what Osama bin Laden himself said, if a man sees a strong horse and a weak horse, he will naturally favor the strong horse. Arabs admire power and strength. They personally consider themselves inferior until they see that America did this to Osama bin Laden. They'll still look up to him. They'll still be afraid he's out there. When they see that America put a bullet through his head, they'll turn on him like that.
2 points. It was supposed to be about transparency, the administration. Another point. The whole purpose of putting the SEALs' lives in jeopardy, rather than dropping a bomb on the compound, was to prove to the world it's bin Laden.
That's right.
And I'll tell you the other thing that there is this compulsion. He was gutsy in this decision, by the way, which wouldn't have happened without George Bush.
And there would be no Osama bin Laden without Bill Clinton.
All right, fair enough. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. But here's the point. They say he's not Muslim. Then they go through this 45-minute interpreted into Arabic, Islamic, funeral that this guy has.
No, I'm in favor of that. That's the military doing it.
The victims of 9/11 didn't get it.
No, I know. And by the way, if there were more girls in the military, he wouldn't have gotten it because we are more vicious than men. But our military is honorable.
I'm not touching that one. I'm not going near that, but go ahead.
Oh, no, that is so why you do not want me at Guantanamo. They will begging to be waterboarded. But our military are not like me. They are honorable men. And during the Iraq War, they knew which way Mecca was. They behaved like gentlemen and officers because that's what our military is. I disagree with you there, but I do think we should see this photo, and I think it's outrageous for the president to act like, this isn't even the Lindbergh kidnapping. This isn't your private crime. Yeah. This was an attack on America. We want to see the photo.
I want to see the photos. I'm with you. And I don't care about the conspiracy theories either, because they'll say it's doctrine. I'll believe it. As a matter of fact, I am 100% sure they got him.
And for him to say, the audacity of him saying, we don't need to spike the football. Really, what's he doing in New York tomorrow?
Well,
he's
spiking the football.
Spiking the football from from now until Election Day on this. So don't talk down to us about your moral superiority. We don't need a victory lap. And that's beyond us. And Americans can't handle this. I think Americans just handled what you showed on your program. And if Americans can handle Hillary Clinton's ankles, they can handle this photo.
Oh, all right. Well, you'll be in trouble for that, but which is part of your book, I assume. When the book
Her ankles? No.
No. Is that right? It's not? All right. But one last thing. There's a hypersensitivity. Is there some underlying belief system in the president that somehow he can still convince radical Islamists to like us?
That's what I'm saying about him.
Because he's not supposed to be a Muslim.
He is not understanding Muslims or Arabs at all here.
By the way, I mean, bin Laden wasn't supposed to be a Muslim. Bin Laden killed Muslims. Right.
But yeah. Obama, our president, does not understand Muslims if he thinks backing down is going to impress them. No, strength impresses them. That we put a bullet in this guy's head 10 years later.
Bin Laden killed all these Muslims. And that's the point. Why does he get the funeral? That's why I don't understand why you don't.
I see your point, but they're going to treat him like a Muslim because they're honorable military men.
All right. Ann Coulter. Always interesting. Glad to have you back. We'll look forward to have you for your book, Demonic, out June 6th.
First interview here.
What's the second part of the book?
How the liberal mobs are endangering America.
All right. June 6th, right here. Ann Coulter. And coming up...